Friends, welcome back again to another BrainFlex video. In this one, I'm going to answer the first 5 questions of tutorial sheet 1 2022. So I'm going to answer the first 5 questions. Okay, let's begin with our first question. So our first question reads, a carpet is to be installed in a room whose length is measured and whose width is measured as well, and we've been given the width is that one and the length is that one. Then we're told to find the area of the room. So what we can do is make first a diagram. Let's draw first a diagram to understand the question better. So let's say we have this simple box as the room. Then we are told that this particular room has a length of 13.71 meters and its width is 4.46 meters. Then we are told to find the area of the room. Okay, it's very easy. I thought it's the volume. Okay, so if you want to find the area, so we are finding the area of the room. So let's consider that. So to find the area, we know that area requires only 2 sides. It's length times breadth or width in this case. So we are going to multiply our length. Our length in this case is 13.71 multiplied by 4.46, which will be equal to, this question was very easy, even a grade 7 can do it, times 4.46, and that will give us a value of 61.1466 meters. But to be consistent with the number of decimal places, we can write it as 61.15 meters. Now, if you do what I've done here, you get no mark. Remember, the units must be correct, so you put a squared there. So now our answer is complete. Okay, let's jump to question 2. Oh, one more thing. Okay, since the question was very simple, we need to consider everything. So we need also to consider the number of significant figures. So when you look at our given values, the number of significant figures in this one, it's 4, in this one it's 3. So when you're dealing with multiplication, to find your answer while considering the number of significant figures, you need to round off your answer to a part of your operation that had the least number of significant figures. So on our answer, we need to round it off to 3 significant figures. So our answer must be 61.1 meters squared. So as you can see, the question was not easy at all. So that's how you answer a question of this kind. Please, you consider the following. Number 1, you need to round it off to correct significant figures. Then beside from that, you need to have correct units. So if you miss any of the 2, you get a 0. Okay, having said that, let's jump to question 2. So on question 2, we are told a worker is to paint the walls of a square room. So remember, the room is square room with the following dimensions. So we're given the height and we are given the length, since it's saying alongside. Then we are told what surface area in square meters must she cover. That's nice. Is she doing the painting? Anyway, never mind. Let's handle the question. So we are given these two dimensions. So we're given the height to be equal to 8.00 feet. Then we also told that the length, it's equal to 12 feet. Then we are told what surface area in square meters must she cover. Okay, this one is a little bit harder compared to question 1. Okay, the reason why I'm saying so, you need to consider this. Let's do it as well. So we are saying we have a square room. We have this particular room. Then we are told that we've been given the height and we've been given the height and we're given the length. Then we are told to state the area, the surface area in square meters. So take note of that. The units must be square meters. Okay, so we need to convert feet into meters. So that must be part of our work. The other thing we need to consider that what we are calculating is the area of a room. So a room has how many sides? It has 4 sides. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. Now here is how I'm arriving at 4 sides. Remember, when you're doing painting, we don't paint the floor. So remove the floor and forget about the roof. When you're painting a room, we don't paint the roof. So the roof and the floor shouldn't be included. Okay. So you only consider the what? The walls. So a floor does not constitute a wall. So you remove those ones, the floor and the roof. So now you remain with 4 sides. That side, side 1. Then we have this particular side, this one, as our side 2. Then we also have that side as our side 3. Then we also have the side that is facing us as our side 4. So take note of those. So we have 4 sides to consider. Okay. We can now begin. So the room is square, by the way. So there it will be L, this side it will be L, that side it will be L, that side it will be L. You see that? Now let's begin. So let's begin by calculating the one in lead. So we are saying the area of the wall of one side will be equal to, we know that area is L times H in this case. So our L, we are given that it's 12 feet multiplied by the height. Yeah, so our height, we are given that it's 8 feet, which will be equal to 12 times 8, that will give us a 96 feet. Okay, we are not yet done. We have how many sides? We have 4 sides, and each side is identical. So we can now multiply this particular value times 4. Let's do it. So I will get rid of these things. So I'm going to say now the total area will be equal to 4 multiplied by the area of each side, which was 96 feet. And that will be equal to 384 feet. Remember, area is squared, so there it must be squared as well. Okay, so when you arrive at this stage, let's say the question has 3 marks, you can be given 2 marks up to this stage. But we are not yet done. We are told that the units must be in what? Meter squared. So let's finish up the question by finding the solution in its light units. So now let's convert this one into meter squared. So to convert this one, we're going to use chain link approach, chain link method. If you don't know this one, you can check out the video. I've made a separate video just on this one. Okay, so let's begin. So this one, you begin by the given value. So we're interested in this one, squared multiplied by. Then you're going to multiply it by the conventional factor. So we know that per every meter, we have 3.28054 feet. Okay. So now we are dealing with area. So the units on our conventional factor must match with those on this part. So to make them match, we need to square the conventional factor. That way, the meters will be squared and the feet will be squared. So when you multiply 384 times 1, you get a 384 divided by 3.28054. And that will give us a value of 117.05 in meters squared. The reason why I'm saying it's in meters squared, I know that this part and that part will cancel. So we're going to measure with meters squared. So this one will be our solution for question 2. Okay. I've spotted a mistake. And this mistake is very, very, very common amongst my students. So the mistake I made was forgetting to square the bottom part. So it's important to handle questions step by step. So let me show you the mistake. So this is the value we assumed to be the answer for this question 9. Now let me show you where the mistake is. Let's do it step by step. Let's square this part. We know that 1 squared and meter squared is the same as 1 meter squared over 3.28054 has to be squared as well, and the feet will also be squared. This part, when you punch it into your calculator, you're going to get a value of 10. So let's slap this part and let's say 10.7619. And we know that this one has to be multiplied by 384 feet squared. Now we know feet and feet squared will be cancelled, and we are going to get our answer as 384 divided by that particular value. We are going to get a 35.681 meters squared. And you see now how the answers are different. So please do your working step by step. Yeah, so your solvings must be step by step, or else you're going to find yourself in this situation where you make a mistake. So that must be your answer for this particular question. Okay, let's now handle question 3. So for question 3, we are told an object in the shape of a rectangle. So it's in the shape of a rectangle, parallelly piped, measures this particular units. Then we are told to determine the volume of the object in meters cubed. So rectangular, parallelly piped, measures this. Then we are told to find the volume. Okay, so the object is rectangular. So let's do it. So it's rectangular, but at the same time it resembles a pipe. So it's more like a pipe with a surface area of a rectangle. We are told the dimensions are 2.0 inches, and we also have 3.5 inches, and the length is 6.5 inches. Then we are told to determine the volume of the object. Okay, so we know that volume is equals to L times B times H. So our L is 6.5 inches times our breadth in this case is 3.5 inches multiplied by our height is 2.0 inches. Okay, so volume will be equal to, enter these values into your calculator. You're going to get a 45.5 inches cubed. We are done. No. So don't be excited when you reach at this stage. So what you need to know, what you need to do, you need to convert this one into meters cubed or cubed meters. Let's do it. So to convert this one, we're going to use the chain link method. So we're going to get our value of interest. So we're interested in this one. And what we're going to do, we're going to multiply it by the conversion factor. So we know that to convert inches into meters, it's 1 meter, it's equal to 0.0254 inches. Wait a minute, no. 1 inch, an inch is smaller than meters, so it's this way. By the way, you don't need to memorize the conversion factors. You don't need to memorize the conversion factors. That has to do with the empirical system. Yeah, we have two systems. We have the metric system and we have the empirical system. So if a conventional factor has to do with the empirical system, you don't need to memorize that particular conventional factor. You will be given it will be included. They are included at the cover page of that particular paper that you are going to be writing, or at the cover page of your exam paper. Yeah. But if you're dealing with what we call metric system, these ones, they are not given. You need to memorize them. So when I say metric system, I mean the kilometers. Yeah, those ones you need to know them. I mean the picometers, the nanometers, the centimeters, those kind of measurement systems. You need to memorize them. These ones, metric system. But the empirical system, which includes pounds, inches, feet, and many more, those ones you don't need to memorize them. They are given at the cover page. Okay, I think I've made enough emphasis. Let's continue. So we are saying we have that particular conversion factor and we need to square it. Actually, we need to power it to power 3 so that the units match. So our next step, remember you need to do your work step by step to avoid mistakes. It will be 3.0254 cubed meter cubed over 1 cubed inches cubed. This part and that part will cancel. So now we are confident that our answer will be in meters cubed. Wow. Let's punch that into our calculator. So we are saying 0.0254 has to be powered to power 3. Then multiply that by 45.5. And you're going to get a value of 7.456 times 10 to the power -4 as your value. So now, to the power -4 as your value. So you can write it this way, or if you want, you can write it as a decimal number this way, 0.0007456 meters to the power 3. So yeah, you can write it either in this way or in that way. So that's how you calculate, that's how you solve question 2. Okay, let's dive into question 4. So question 4 says a gallon of paint, we have been given this particular volume, this volume covers an area of this amount. Okay, they have made a mistake. If this is area, then we know the power there must be power 2. What is the thickness of the paint on the wall? Wow, the thickness of the paint. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try to think how to go about a question of this kind. Okay, so here's how to go about a question of this kind. So volume, we need first to know the formula of volume. So we know that volume is calculated as L times B times H. What about area? Area is calculated as L times B. So we can see that the relationship between volume and area is that volume is equals to area times H. You see the magic? Yeah. Are we given area? Yes, we are given area. So we are given this part. Are we given volume? Yes, we are given volume. And the question says, find the what? The thickness. So the thickness in this case will be the height. This particular dimension. You see that? Okay, I want you to pause the video again and try to think. Yeah, try to think why I'm doing this. Okay, so this one will be our thickness. So now we have developed a formula. Area times thickness is equals to volume. Okay, let's get rid of these things. So we know that the volume is 3.78 times 10 to the power -3 meters cubed is equals to the area, we know that is 25 meters squared multiplied by the thickness. So now the thickness will be equal to 3.78 times 10 to the power -3 divided by 25 meters squared. Now let's write the units and see the magic. We have meter squared here. There we have cubed. So when you cancel that and that, you will see that the numerator will remain with meters. So we are going to get meters as our result. And we need now to punch it in, into our calculator. So we are saying 3.78 exponential negative 3, okay, divided by 25. And we're going to get a value of 1.512. So we're saying 1.512. So this one will be our value, meters as the unit. So this is the thickness of the wall. Oh, I didn't copy the answer correctly. It has an exponent, so it's negative 4 meters. Okay, so that must be your thickness. Okay, so on this question, let's consider the number of significant figures. Yeah, so in this one, in our operation, we did a division. So division is important to, under division, we consider the number of significant figures of the least part of your operation. So under our operation, the one with the least part, the least number of significant figures was the denominator. It has 3, while the numerator has 2, while the numerator has 3 significant figures. So we are going to use that of the denominator. You see that? Yeah. But when you look at the question again, we are given not 25, we are given 25.0. So let's consider that. We are trying our best to get the correct answer, by the way. So when you consider that, then the denominator will have 3 significant figures. And our answer, this is a division operation, our answer must have 3 significant figures. So it will be 1.51. You end there. So that's how you answer a question of this kind. Please, questions under units and measurements, always consider the number of significant figures. I know on my question 2 and 3, I forgot to consider that. But please, you can go back and consider that, the amount of your final answer. Yeah. Just a reminder, if you're dealing with division, multiplication and division, we consider the part with the least number of significant figures. But if you're dealing with plus and minus, we consider the part with the least decimal places. Okay guys, let's now handle the last question, which is question 5. So question 5, we are told the rectangular plate as the length of that and the width of that. Then we are told to calculate the area of the plate. Don't forget, we need to include the uncertainty. So any question that has to do with uncertainty, just remember it involves 2 steps. So step 1, you work out the central values. So when you say central values, we mean these ones, the first part. So work out these ones. So these ones, you just work them out normally. So in this case, we are told to find the area. So if it's area, we know area has to do with multiplication. So it's length times width. So it will be equal to 21.3 times 9.8. So 21.3 times 9.8. And that will give you a 208.74. Wow. Now let's find the uncertainty of our solution. So that will be our step 2. So to work out the uncertainty of your solution, you need first to look at the type of operation you performed. So we are performing division. So division, we know that we do what? We add percentage uncertainty. So let's add the percentage uncertainties. So we are given this one. This one that we are given here, since they are written in decimal number, they are called absolute uncertainty. Take note of that. They are called absolute uncertainty. But we need to add percentage uncertainty. So we are going to convert the absolute uncertainty into percentage uncertainty. Let's do it. So we need this value. So I'm going to write it this side. 0.74. Let's slab everything and under the last step. So let's convert this one first, this part, into percentage uncertainty. So percentage uncertainty of length. So we are saying that of length will be equal to 0.2 divided by 21.3 times 10 or times 100%. Remember, percentage uncertainty formula is percentage uncertainty is equals to absolute value over central value. So that's how we calculate it. So this part will give us the value of 0.2 divided by 21.3, and that will be equal to 0.939%. Don't forget. Okay, now let's find the uncertainty of the width. So this time it's 0.1 divided by 9.8 times 100. Okay, that will give us a value of 0.1. We're saying 0.1 divided by 9.8 times 100. So that will give us a 1.02%. And we know that we are dealing with multiplication, so we need to add 2. So I'm going to say plus. So you add the 2, and we are going to get our percentage uncertainty of our answer as, so let's add the 2. So this one plus 0.939 will be equal to 1.959%. Wow. So that one will be your value. So now we can write our answer as central value. We know that it's 208.74 plus or minus the percentage uncertainty. The number of decimal places there, they must be same as this side, so it will be 6. Okay, so you can write it this way. And don't forget, we are dealing with centimeters squared. Okay, so you can write it this way, or if you are a genius, you can consider converting this into absolute uncertainty. Let's do it. Okay, let's convert it. So we know that percentage uncertainty, in this case it's 1.96, is equals to absolute. So absolute is what we are interested in this time. Uncertainty divided by the central value times 100%. So now we plugged the value into our formula. So now we can see that the absolute uncertainty will be equal to this particular percentage, this one will be multiplied by 208.74 divided by 100. Okay, I made a mistake. Let me do it again. Divided by 100 times 208.74. Okay, so you're going to get a value of 4.09. Okay, so now here's how you can write your answer. If you want to write it with absolute uncertainty, you say the central value, which is just the same, plus or minus 4.09. 09 centimeters squared. So this one, it's an answer, and this one is also a possible solution. So yeah, and remember, questions of this kind come with 5 marks, though sometimes it might be allocated 4 marks. Yeah, just to do this little work. Okay guys, that's it for this video. In our next video, I'm going to answer questions, the first 5 questions from Total Sheet 1 2023. Yeah, so check out that video too. Okay, having said that, thanks for watching.